Hello, everyone, and hope you're all having an amazing day or had an amazing day, depending on your current time zone. So, today I'm going to, I guess, get a little bit real with you guys, right? Um, First of all, it is my birthday, so I thought that I'd do something a little different, and I thought that I'd talk to you guys about just questions that I've been asked before, in a general setting with moms that are either have kids with disabilities or are sick, and just the conversations that we have in general, just things that they think about and how I approach certain scenarios and situations, being that I have two kids versus them having only one, or whatever, or vice versa. So, a common question or a common conversation that we kind of talk about is, how do you feel as a mom that does have a kid with a disability, and being around other moms that have kids that do not, right? So, how do we feel about that? How do you kind of approach that scenario and that situation without getting discouraged? That's a good way to kind of put it. So, hello, 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 everyone, and hope you are all having an amazing day. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a seasoned subscriber, welcome back. On Mondays, I do videos all about fashion, accessories, just fun things I enjoy doing to keep my mind off of the second half of the week videos, which are all about my two girls and their battles with TSC and FSGS. TSC being tuberous sclerosis complex, and FSGS being a form of kidney disease that causes damage to the glomeruli. Unfortunately, that can lead to kidney disease, kidney failure, transplant, dialysis, a little bit of everything, right? So if you're interested in either or, please hit the little subscribe button and hit the little bell so you can be notified on all of my latest videos. And please don't forget to hit the like button and comment below. Let me know what you think about today's video. And let's get started. So, heavy conversation, right? I often kind of take a step back and kind of think about how I feel mentally whenever I am in that kind of a setting, right? I have all my family members, all of my friends. Many of them have kids that are healthy. So I tend to kind of just kind of accept the fact that I have two girls that are disabled, that they are not normal, that they have things. As far as normal, they're normal kids. They are, obviously, I guess, what is normal, right? Let me get back to that. What is normal? I don't think there really is such a thing as normal, because each of us have some uniqueness about ourselves, right? No matter what, whether it's how we speak, how we approach things, how we look at the world, our education, our parents, or if you don't have parents, if you grew up in poverty, if you grew up rich, if you grew up middle class, we've all had these different types of situations that have molded us into being who we are today. So, two kids with disabilities, yeah, it's chaotic, but what's crazy about it is that that's all I know. So if I was to have a healthy child, I don't think I'd even know how to approach it. I'm so used to chaos. And I know that it's not good to be used to chaos, but it's my world. It's how we live. It's what I know. Now, as far as me being in a setting with parents that do have kids that are good and they're healthy, I mean, not everybody's perfect, right? We all have our situations. I have three nieces, and they all have their lives, and they all have their, certain things that they do or they feel, that, it won't be the same, obviously, as my oldest daughter or my youngest daughter, right? But as far as educational wise, right? My oldest daughter was in and out of school because she was constantly in the hospital, and she finally, graduated from high school, and then went to college, graduated with her associate's degree. So she did at least go to college, but again, she ended up 8 years on dialysis, or 7.5 years in dialysis, and started getting really sick. So it was almost impossible. It was so chaotic. So we don't have that structure where she's able to go straight to college and just do her 4 years, go, and then start getting into her career and moving on, because she does have those up and downs where she's really, really sick. She does good, and then she's good for a while, then she gets sick again. So the inconsistency as far as her health makes it almost impossible for her to hold the job. She's had, I mean, several surgeries, major surgeries, from hysterectomies to removal of her parathyroid, like 90% of it. I believe it was like 90% of her parathyroid being removed, to kidney transplants, to, I mean, to fixing her fistula, and she has to go back in for surgery to fix her arm now because she has a lot of bruising here and a lot of lumps from just the blood flow of her fistula line. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I mean, I can't even explain to you how bad her life has been and how well she has done. She has her issues, she has her anxiety, she has her mental issues where she's trying to deal, and she's gone through a lot, and and that's difficult on its own, right? And then my youngest having her seizures and her learning disabilities, and where you see your family or your friends and they're thriving in school, and how, I guess, do I feel envious of that? Yes, I do. I'd be lying out of my, what, if I said, oh no, I'm good, that everybody else's kid is able to go to school and not worry about a learning disability or having to take medication to be okay, or having, obviously, right? As a parent with kids with disabilities, all we want is for our kids to be healthy. All we want is for our kids to be okay, right? So I guess being mindful, I guess this goes both ways, right? I'm so proud of my nieces and their successes, but I'm also like envious because I wish my kids were able to do that too. I can, and I'm allowed to be that way, right? I'm allowed to be a proud aunt and still be envious that you wish your kids were just as successful and doing just as great of a job. So yeah, I think as any parent with kids with disabilities, they would probably agree, right? I think that any of us would want our kids to be okay. Yeah, I'm not, but I don't hate on, I don't hate on anybody. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. This is our lives. This is who we are. I was put in this situation for a reason, and I truly, truly believe that. I truly believe that, if it was, me or a parent that didn't have the funds to do it, they couldn't afford to care for a disabled child, and was given a child with a disability, and they were to say, hey, Kathy, it's either them or you, I would say I will take that. I will take that burden on me. And the reason why is because I want to give that child a better chance at life. And I'm not trying to say that to be freaking being, I don't know, just to kind of sound like, oh, she wants to sound like she's a hero, whatever. It's not that. It's because I truly believe that every disabled child should have a chance at a better life, should have a chance from the beginning, from day one, have an opportunity to be happy, have an opportunity to be the best that they can be. I'm far from perfect. I'm not. But do I have at least the resources to at least support my child or my children to make sure that at least they have what they need? Medical care, around the clock support. And yes, I do. I do have that ability, right? And it's important to me because though that burden is on our family, and it is a burden, no matter what, a disability is a burden. I don't care who you are, what you are, because I'm being realistic and honest, right? It just makes your life a lot more difficult. It makes it a lot more challenging, and that's what a burden is. Makes it a lot more challenging. You have to take off time if you're at work, right? So imagine a single parent, where if you take off, you get docked. That is a burden on your family, right? So you think about it that way, right? If your child gets really sick and you have to take off time, but you don't have PTO time to care for that child, or your company doesn't offer PTO time, right? And you would take off and you're losing that money, or you don't have medical insurance, or if you do, it doesn't cover much, So you got to think of it from that perspective. So having a disability is a added burden to the family, to yourself, to your family, to everyone around you. um, I'll be the first one to admit it, because I know that I deal with this every single day. Having, a daughter that finally she's gotten her kidney, so I am so beyond appreciative that we don't have that chaos right now, with that added chaos or that added burden where she has to go to dialysis every other day, right? And she knows, she's appreciative every day. She's extremely thankful for that, right? Or my youngest, where we finally have her seizures under control. So that little burden here and there has been lifted in the meantime. But we're well aware that that can change tomorrow, right? That can change tomorrow. And we're not blind to that. We understand that factor. Every day we are thankful for another day of health, and that that little burden lifted, even if it's for one day, even if it's for 2 days, 3 days, even if it's for a few hours. We appreciate that. And that's the one thing that in my eyes I can see, because I've experienced it. I experience it daily, where in other families or parents or mothers, they do not, right? They don't understand that, right? They don't understand that that burden of, is my child going to live another night? Period. I have. So my patience is, as far as dealing with these kind of emergencies, has grown tremendously. Now, do I have a short fuse for other things? As far as handling certain things, yes, I do. But as far as handling medical emergencies, I've definitely become somewhat of a pro. So definitely managing these situations and these scenarios has helped me grow in many ways. But it's also helped me recognize that I'm not perfect. And I have to release my burden sometimes, as far as mentally, in order for me to keep myself leveled out. And as any parent, and I would recommend any parent to do this, is just recognize where, whenever you reach that limit, as far as understanding who you are, what you do, how you react, how you respond to stuff, you have to recognize that you're not superhuman. And my best friend has she has been my rock, and I love her to death. And I kind of failed her a little bit lately, and it was because I was falling back into that deep sadness of not understanding how to get past certain things. And yeah, and she smacked me right back into it and said, hey, you gotta understand that you're better than this, you're stronger than this. You cannot take on all this burden and believe that you're gonna be okay. You have to recognize the fact that you're not superhuman. And I was forgetting that, and she definitely brought me back in. And I'm back on riding my bike. Oh, excuse me. I'm back on riding my bike, doing my yoga, doing my meditation, elliptical, a little bit of everything here. And I'm starting to finally feel mentally free. I'm starting to finally get back to being who I am. I'm down 3 pounds, and my focus is to just get back to where I was, weight-wise and mentally, where I was before all this chaos happened again and started bringing me back. And I'm pulling myself back out of it, right? Because I recognize the fact that if you stay in that zone, stay in that mental space of anger and despair and sadness, you're never going to get better. You're going to get worse. So I am thankful for that. And having my daughter and just listening to her and seeing what she's going through, and just understanding that, you know, I have to be there for her. I have to be there for my youngest. I have to be there for my oldest, and I have to stay and remain focused. Focus through and evolve. I have to. And what I mean by and what does my name mean, right? What does the name of my channel mean? Remaining focused has been my theme since day one. Focus being understanding my goals, understanding my daughter's goals, understanding their needs and their wants. So that keeps me focused. Focusing through any situation. Keeping a level head. Because in order for me to be able to get past this and for us to overcome any major event, I have to stay focused through the event. And that's how you evolve from that. That's how you learn from your mistakes, your errors. That's how you become stronger on the back end. And that's how I've grown to who I am today and understanding who I am today, right? So to kind of get back to where I was, right? Yes, I am very, very envious of parents that have healthy children. 100%, because I know that my daughters will never be able to get to a certain place as far as where their kids are today, right? I'm 100% envious. Now the question would be, would I trade places with them? To have a healthy child? If my girls were to stay healthy and be healthy? Yes, probably. Because then I know they'll be healthy, right? But would I trade places as far as who I've become and who they've become as kids? I don't know. Because I've gotten so much knowledge from this. Now, health-wise, my girls, yes. Yes, I would. If I knew they were going to have healthy lives. But as far as for me, being understanding and kind of growing from this situation, I don't know. I can't answer that question. But when it comes to the health of my daughters, I would do anything to give them the opportunity at a healthier life, or at a healthy life, where they can grow and flourish and become whoever they want to be. But it doesn't mean that it's going to stop me from trying. Alright guys, thank you so much for taking the time out to check out my video today. And again, I hope you are all having a wonderful day. So please don't forget to hit the like button and comment below. Let me know what you think of today's video. And please, please don't ever forget to focus through and evolve. Ciao.